近づかなきゃてめえをぶちのめせないんでな。
ほほう。では十分近づくがよい。
Hello everyone and welcome to JOTARO KUJO, and today we're reviewing a Jojo super action figure KO. Now I've wanted to start collecting the original line of the super action figures Jojo for a long time, but I haven't had the chance to because they're very expensive and I've always prioritized Figma. And when I saw KO, the original pictures actually look like maybe these are not bad at all. I was wrong.
But before we go deep into the review, let's start that intro.
But let's start with the box. Yes, the figure barely can stand on its own. The box actually doesn't look too bad, but I gotta say, I think you can tell by the box that it's not the original. I think the original one should have like super action statue written somewhere, and this has nothing of that. Now of course the pictures that you see here are the original one, but it doesn't look like that. Doesn't look like that at all. But let's see, how does it look like? First of all, the face. Face is terrible. It is horrible. Because the rest of the paint job is actually not that bad, but the friggin' face is terrible. And it brings a second head, and the second head is not that bad. It actually looks exactly the same as the first head. There's no difference at all. Please tell me, what's the difference? Like, is more tan on this one and in this one? It's the same freaking face. So why put a second head when the second head, the expression is exactly the same?
Oh shit!
And but the rest of the paint job is actually not bad. Not bad. It has that, mostly that detail. It's not as well shaded as the original one, but it's not again that bad. But god damn it, that head is terrible. But if it was only the faces that were terrible, the figure is one of the worst figures in terms of feel that I've ever seen. It's loose all over, and my god, one of the legs is not even like straight. I think the peg is not in a good position, so the leg looks like it was broken. My god, it's just not good at all. And of course, it cannot stand on his own.
Oh my god!
But that's why it brings a stand.
Not that type of stand.
And the stand is probably the best part of this figure. It is a decent stand, and super action statues actually do what I've been telling SH Figure Arts to do for years. Copy Figma. Yeah, a stand that plugs directly into the figure. Not bad at all. At least that is decent. Now what does it bring? It brings these little effect parts, but for that you actually need to plug it into the stand. And guess what? You can't, because you need to plug the friggin' figure. Now of course we have that extra head that is useless. And then we have these little parts that are to replace in his pants, so we can create pockets that he can then put some hands in the pockets. Now hands, it does bring a lot of them. Besides the two fist hands that we have right now in the figure, we have two shop hands, two open pose hands. Those look very nice. Two pinching hands to pinch the hat. Two pointing hands. And finally the two weird ass hands to put inside the pockets. So now for the hand pockets. So I already placed those hands in the bag, and we need to remove this little part here, put in the new part for the freaking pocket. And let me tell you that these parts they just don't fit that well. And you have things falling off again.
Oh no!
And remove the other one. And there you go. And now you can bend it so you can fit the hands on the pockets. But again, the joints are so terrible. This is a chore to do, just not good at all. It is frustrating, it is annoying.
やれやれだぜ。
And now comes the interesting part. Let your fingers get in there and have a good old rub-a-dub.
So let's start looking at articulation, and we start by looking at his head, and it's on a ball joint. It's different from the original one that was in the ball hinge system, a very ugly ball hinge system. Not that this is not an ugly neck, because the neck is extremely too long, but the ball joint works fine, and I believe the neck itself is in a ball joint connected to the torso, and again, it was probably the best working articulation in this KO. Now switching to the shoulders, we have a ball hinge connected to the shoulder, but we also have a butterfly joint. Now this butterfly joint in the KO is just not working at all. It's completely useless, and I just feel like there's something wrong with this ball hinge. It gives you too much of a gap between the arm and the socket, and it's very loose. It does the job. It's not the worst articulation, but it is definitely very loose. Then we have a double hinge elbow. And this one, just sometimes it works fine, but sometimes it looks like the articulation is going to break. So it's definitely not the best. And then we have this very small ball hinge in the hand that can break easily, so be careful. Now we have, I believe, a ball joint that connects the waist to the lower abdominal. And it pops off very easily. And then I believe we have another one ball hinge that connects to the chest, gives you good side to side and can adjust easily, but again it pops off very easily. His coat has a simple hinge to get out of the way. No, not very complex at all. Now complex is these legs, and I hate them. It's just very weird. We have a hinge, then you can rotate, basically you can spread, and it falls out again.
Oh my god!
Okay, so basically you have to rotate the friggin' peg in order to get a kick forward, but the kick forward is with the leg just in a very awkward position. So I just hate this articulation, one of the worst ones. And this again is a double hinge knee like the arm, but again it bends so quickly and the leg just becomes crooked because the pegs are so low quality. Then we have also a ball hinge in the foot, allows us to pivot, and we have a toe bend. And that's it for the articulation. It is terrible. Most of the pegs look like they're breaking. Let's just do size comparisons.
Oh yes.
Revoltank, Full Metal Alchemist, Alphonse L. Figma, ReZero, Ram. Figma, Fate Grand Order, Gilgamesh.
So finally, I have basically almost nothing good to say about this figure. It's cheap, that said something, but clearly if you're a Jojo fan, save your money on this figure and buy the original one because it's much better than this crappy one. And it's actually not the paint job that kills this figure. Yes, the face is horrible compared to the original one, but it is the articulation that kills this figure. It is just not fun to play with. Just looks like it's going to fall apart at any moment. So hope you enjoyed the review and it was useful. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, tell me your opinion in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And of course, if you're subscribing and if you're already subscribed, put all notifications on that bell icon to always know when the next video is up. It's very important and really would help out this channel a lot. Expect the next part of my best of 2019 video coming up really soon, and a new action figure news episode coming this week.
Oh my god!
See you next time.